What's up? Today I have collected the 16 highest rated players in NBA 2K22, put them all in a 1v1 tournament, and we're going to be seeing who would win. The seeding is all based on players overalls. You can see the top 16 players overalls right here, the highest being Steph Curry with a 97, and the lowest being Devin Booker with a 90. Without further ado, let's get into our first matchup. Game 1, we have 1 seed Steph Curry versus 16 seed Devin Booker. Booker started off the game with the first bucket, but it ended up going back and forth for most of the game till Booker missed a shot. Curry got the rebound and hit a clutch 3 to take a 3-point lead. Booker did end up coming back though, tying the game 11-11, and then Steph had a nasty ankle breaker on Devin Booker and hit the 3 to win the game. Next up, we had Jimmy Butler versus Luka Doncic. Luka started off the scoring this game, but Jimmy quickly came back and took a 5-2 lead. Luka scored one more bucket before Jimmy went on another tear, making the lead 8-3. Luka was able to score 2 more points during the game before Jimmy had 3 unanswered points and won 11-5. Jimmy just locked up Luka all game, making him shoot 5 for 23. Jimmy, on the other hand, had 16 boards and shot over 50%. Next up, we had Kevin Durant versus Ja Morant. Ja Morant started off the scoring, but his scoring did not last long. KD quickly increased the lead to 5-1 before Ja scored again. But Ja was able to post her KD, giving him the ability to score 2 in a row. But after that, KD went off again, making the lead 9-3. Ja was able to score one more time before KD won the game 11-4. Then we had Nikola Jokic versus Kyrie Irving. Kyrie started this game off with the first bucket, but as we've seen every other game, the person to score first has lost. So let's see if Kyrie can break that streak. The game ended up being really close, going back and forth the entire time. It was all tied up at 12. Then Jokic got a block and dunk and scored again to narrowly beat Kyrie. Next, we had LeBron James versus Trae Young, a pretty big mismatch. LeBron started off the scoring and quickly took a 2-1 lead, which led to a 3-1 lead, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1 lead. Then finally Trae Young was able to score again, but after allowing Trae to score one more time, LeBron ended the game 11-3. This game was not close at all. Next up, we have Joel Embiid versus Anthony Davis, and this game was by far the most boring game so far. It took 20 minutes to complete, so I'm just gonna skip to the end. AD ended up beating Embiid 13-11. AD had 37 boards and 18 blocks, whereas Embiid had 34 boards and 13 blocks. There's just a ton of misses for both players. Game 7 was between Giannis and Damian Lillard. This was a very unfortunate matchup for Lillard, as Giannis is the defending champ from NBA 2K21, and he showed why in this game. Giannis just dominated the entire game, never really giving Lillard a chance at winning. Giannis was hot all game and Lillard was cold, only scoring 4 points. Giannis only missed 2 shots the entire game. Our final game of the first round was Kawhi Leonard versus James Harden. And this is a game that I thought would be close, but Kawhi just locked up Harden on defense the entire game and went off on offense. And at the end of it, Harden only ended up scoring 2 points, getting embarrassed in the first round. So here is our bracket going into the second round. Pause the video if you want to check it out longer. But game number 1 in the second round, we have Steph Curry versus Jimmy Butler. Curry starts off the scoring with a big dunk, something we don't see him do so often. Jimmy comes back though with a dunk of his own. Then these two started just going back and forth, scoring for a bit. Curry did have the advantage though and saw a 6-3 lead over Jimmy Butler. Jimmy went on a bit of a tear though and tied up the game 6-6. They started going back and forth and scoring again until Jimmy got his takeover badge and took a slight lead. After this, Steph was unable to stop Jimmy from scoring, and Jimmy ended up winning the game 11-8. Next, we have Nikola Jokic versus Kevin Durant, and this game started off looking like it would be really close till the end, but that quickly changed when Jokic started dominating Durant, ending up having an 8-2 lead over Durant pretty quickly. Durant started to come back a little bit though and got the lead down to 3 points. Unfortunately, this was not enough though, and Jokic ended up winning 11-6. Next, we had LeBron James versus Anthony Davis, and AD had a huge snatch block on the first play. And this is the battle to see who's the best player on the Lakers. and it ended up being a very close game. The game took like 8 years to simulate though. AD started off the game 4-0 before LeBron was able to get his first bucket. Unfortunately for LeBron, this game was looking almost impossible to come back from, but LeBron started to come back, getting the game within 1 point and eventually tying it up 8-8. From this point on though, LeBron was not able to stop AD, and AD had a big block and dunk to win the game. Our final game of the second round is between Giannis and Kawhi Leonard. I was expecting this game to be pretty close, especially after Kawhi dominated Harden in the first round. But after the first few points being close, Giannis absolutely obliterated Kawhi for the rest of the game. In fact, he only allowed him to score 5 points the entire game. And at this point in time, Giannis is really looking unstoppable in this tournament. And this brings us to our semifinals with only 4 players remaining in the tournament. Our first matchup is Jimmy Butler versus Nikola Jokic. And going forward, I am going to be showing every scoring play in these games. Jokic gets the first 2 buckets versus Jimmy. Jimmy finally able to put some points on the board, but he's just unable to stop Jokic in the post. Can't get any rebounds against him. This is going to be a tough game for Jimmy Butler to win. Jokic with the block and dunk there. He's has a 6-1 lead now. Finally, Jimmy able to get another point. But then Jokic with his takeover badge, he just cannot be stopped. 8-2 lead for Jokic. Jimmy with the green, trying to do all he can to come back. And it's not looking like it's going to happen here. 9-4. Jokic again posting up, fades away. Another green. He is at game point right now. This is Jimmy Butler's last effort to come back, but Jokic in the post just cannot be stopped, and Jokic is moving on to the finals. Jokic with 12 boards and 8 blocks. Jimmy Butler also with 12 boards. He just shot 6 for 22. For our second match of the semifinals, we have Giannis versus Anthony Davis. Giannis gonna start off the scoring in this game, takes a 1-0 lead, takes a 2-0 lead now, fading away for the 3-0 lead. AD finally able to put some points on the board, but he just cannot stop Giannis on defense. There we go, AD with another bucket. Giannis misses, gets the board, misses, gets the board, and finally scores. 6-2 lead, gets a block. It's a 7-2 lead now, fading. It's a green. This fadeaway by Giannis is unstoppable in the game. He's been hitting that all tournament long. And Giannis with another block here. He has his takeover badge. In fact, both of them have their takeover badge. But Giannis with the 10-3 lead now. AD able to score one more time before Giannis greens for the win. Anthony Davis had 39 rebounds and 13 blocks. And then Giannis doing even better. He had 50 rebounds and 13 blocks. He also shot horribly. But that brings us to our final game of the tournament. We have Nikola Jokic versus Giannis in the finals. Game starts off with Giannis blocking Jokic, but Jokic gets the ball back and scores. Giannis comes back with a bucket of his own, and the two kept going back and forth scoring. Every time one would score, the other would score as well, until we were all tied up at 7. Then Giannis was able to score 3 unanswered points to take a 10-7 lead. It was looking like Giannis was gonna win this thing. Jokic in the post, greens a shot but gets blocked by Giannis, drives to the basket and dunks for the win. That was not a great game for Jokic, who shot 7 for 40. On the other hand, Giannis shot 11 for 39, so not much better. But Giannis is our 1v1 champion in NBA 2K21. If you guys enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe if you aren't already.